I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right, welcome back.
I wasn't ready.
Too fake. All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo. How are you?
God damn it. And I'm Gabe, and I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, dude. I'm excited because I get to talk about something that I've been excited about for a while this week, and it's going to be interesting to hear if you have heard of or seen this.
Probably never heard of it before.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, what's new? Before we get into it, what's new? Give me some banter before we start.
Some banter. As I've told you before, I went to a pub quiz yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Went quite all right. A couple of movie questions I could answer. So, kind of proud.
You represented the podcast well.
I did.
Did you proud. Did you wear our merch? Or did you put up
our
like
non-existent merch? Yeah, I just wrote "Best Thing We've Seen" on my T-shirt.
Well, we got those shirts with "best" on it.
I didn't use that one. No, sorry.
Well,
next time.
Yeah,
but I did make some
connections,
some advertisements.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You built up some relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
So, you're so welcome. And I'm not hungover today, so I'm very excited about that. How are you?
I'm not hungover either. I feel quite good today. But yeah, I mean, if as Gabe just mentioned, if he was successful in promoting the show, and if we got some new listeners, then welcome.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Sure. Then welcome. Hopefully you enjoy this, whatever this is. It seems to be going somewhat all right for the last 25 episodes. Maybe the 26th one is the one where it all falls apart. But
that's right. This is the 26th one. This marks exactly half a year of us doing this.
Wow, I was not prepared for this. That's actually very true.
Excitement! Come on.
What's the special? What are we doing now? Are we going to sing?
Are we? I don't think I can.
That's right.
Happy half birthday to us.
I know what to cut.
All right, the song's copyright.
I don't think anyone recognized it from what you just did.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even prepare for this. I mean, I don't like people who celebrate their half birthdays anyway. So we'll do something special on the 52nd episode.
People, yeah. Everybody knows.
Dude, I know.
Who celebrate half a birthday.
I genuinely do.
What?
I genuinely do. I know one person who does it.
All right, I guess
and
you
she's
don't
never,
want to
she's never going to listen to this, and I'm not going to say it. But no, it's someone you know from school.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It is.
All right, maybe I shouldn't say too much. Maybe I do actually know this person, so
it's no one you're close to, whatever.
All right, then fuck that person. No.
We're gaining listeners, but now we're also losing some.
It's part of the game.
Maybe she is listening. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, obviously today, 26th episode. The only special thing about it is that it's a regular episode. We're just going to talk about the best thing that we've seen all week, the best newly released thing. And as always, we don't know what the other person will choose. Obviously, our special episodes are like, we got one coming up on episode number 28, I believe. Is that right?
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now. Where we're going to talk about like a whole a person's career, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite things that person has done. But in our regular episode, yeah, as I said, we're just going to talk about the best thing that we've seen all week. And I do believe it's your turn to start us off. So,
yes, I think so too.
Do you want to mention what you talked about last week? You said you wanted to save something for this week.
Yeah, sure. Let's start off with that. I just want to talk about a show that I've been watching, and it's not a new show, so I didn't want to put it as my pick.
Okay.
But it's Giri Haji. I don't know how to pronounce it. Just go with it. All right. It's a great Netflix show. You should really check out. It's just one season for now.
Yes, it's got some American actors in it, doesn't it?
I don't think so. It's set in Tokyo and in London. It's about
it's British actors. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe even a BBC show or
yeah.
In cooperation with them. But the thing is, it's about a Japanese detective who comes to London because his brother, who's part of the Yakuza, and he kind of betrayed them, and he's hired by the Yakuza to bring his brother back, because otherwise they'll do horrible things to him and his family.
Yeah.
And it's a great crime kind of thriller, and it kind of it gets better as the show goes on, I have to say. And the ending is just, there's this very abstract scene towards the end, which I've just found brilliant. So
yeah,
I don't know, have you heard anything about this?
I have heard of this, yes. I'm not that interested in it, but I've heard good no, I'm being genuine. But I've heard good things about it, and but that one, it came out like in January. That's not that old.
I think it came out last year in January.
It was released internationally on Netflix on the 10th of January 2020, according to Wikipedia.
God damn it, this should have been my pick. Well, too late now.
Well, it's outside the 6 months, if you're just about now, I guess.
When was it released?
January 10th. I mean, you're just 6 months and 2 weeks.
Well, the other pick that I want to talk about today is, I think, January 28th, 26th.
That's so right within the window.
Pretty much 6 months. 6 months, like 4 or 5 days. So,
dude, that's perfect. Very proud of you. But I'm reading now. For example, Justin Long is in this.
Yes, he is, and
an American
the woman,
actor.
Kelly
MacDonald, yeah.
MacDonald, right? Who's in Trainspotting, for example.
Yeah,
and I love her. She has a great voice.
That's the American actor that I was talking about. Who's in it?
Justin. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there's an American actor.
Yes. Because when I first heard about this movie, I thought it was an Asian production, and I was surprised to see that there were some actors in it that, some American or British actors.
Yeah, but well, the cool thing is, since it is partly set in Japan, and there are Japanese actors who come to London, I love it that when they're just between themselves, it's just two Japanese actors in the room. They speak Japanese, which makes so much more sense.
Of course.
Because in a lot of the shows, somebody says, "Oh, I need to practice my English," or give some dumb excuse just so they can speak more English. But just half the show is just set in it's just in Japanese.
Yeah,
which makes it way more authentic, and you kind of really have a feeling that it is set in Japan. Yeah, which I love about this show.
I know what you mean. I mean, we had that, for example, in Eurovision a couple of weeks ago, where they don't, like, they speak Icelandic with each other in the first, like, 5 or 10 minutes, and then they never do it again.
I wonder if it's actually Icelandic or they just make up words, as they sometimes do with German. I've seen a couple of shows where they speak German, but they don't. They really don't.
Right. I don't know for sure, but I think it is authentic. For example, the song at the end, that's also in Icelandic, that is for sure in Icelandic.
I take your word.
Yeah, no, I think I can say that pretty safely. Yeah, but is there supposed to be a second season for this, or is it just a closed?
I don't know. I mean, it leaves room for more towards the end, and I do hope so. I mean, it kind of sets it up as if there would be more, but I don't know if they got cancelled, or if it maybe just was one season and they got kind of ambitious with the ending, but it's hard to tell.
Okay, gotcha.
It didn't feel finished, but it didn't. But I felt like the story was kind of over as well.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, check it out, definitely. I was quite surprised because at first I thought this looked kind of trashy, to be honest. But I really got sucked into it. Yeah.
Could you compare it to any other show, like to get a feel for the tone?
Dude, it's hard.
Is it like a detective thing? No.
Not really. I don't know. It's more of a gangster show, I guess.
Right.
With police elements in it, because I don't know, he is less of a detective. When he is in London, he's just looking for his brother.
Yeah.
And when it's set in Japan, it's more even more of a gangster film, I guess, because it's just about the Yakuza and how the police work with them, I guess.
Right.
And about how corrupt kind of everybody is, which kind of got out of hand. Like, everybody's just super corrupt in this.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they are.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
But that's not your pick.
I guess not, because it's more out of bounds from our...
You can choose this as your pick. I was making fun of it.
Yeah, dude, it's so hard because I didn't expect that I should pick this as my pick because I thought it was way older than it is.
Well, it said it was released internationally in January. The original thing was like October, November 2019.
All right, yeah.
Apparently, I don't know when it was released over here. Because it was, as you said, it was a BBC Two release.
Well,
yeah,
but it's not going to be my pick because it's been more than a week since I've seen it. So let's not pick it.
Yeah, okay.
But it's an honorable mention.
Gotcha.
Let's call it that.
Okay.
Because my pick is another Netflix thing, a Netflix original, I think, and it's a Taiwanese film.
Okay.
And it's called A Sun.
Okay. I don't know this.
All right.
How do you spell this?
A, like A.
Yes.
The letter A. And then sun, as in the center of our solar system.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it's quite a depressing film, to be honest. It's about a family and how they deal with their son being put into juvenile detention because he and his friends kind of went somewhere and cut somebody's hand off. And it's how the family deals with it. Yeah, the opening scene is quite funny, to be honest, because the music is extremely upbeat.
Okay.
It just go somewhere and cut somebody's hand off. And why they did this, it's kind of explained later on in the film. But it's just about the family and how they deal with it. So, like, how his brother deals with it, who's like this overachiever, and his father, who kind of then claims he only has one son, and his son is dead to him when he's supposed to go to jail for this. And the mother, who is more supportive. And then you kind of see the film play out from both the parents' perspective and the brother's perspective when he's in uni, and the son who's in jail or juvenile detention, and who's left a pregnant girlfriend behind. So all this kind of put together and how they try to deal with this.
Right.
There's this funny kind of thing because there are a lot of scenes where in the background there's something written, like those inspirational quotes with which kind of have a deeper meaning, especially towards the end, because the father quite likes them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's quite a depressing film, to be honest. But
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Maybe not, I guess. But it's quite surprising and it's kind of weird to see I don't think I've ever seen a Taiwanese film.
Is this based on a true story?
Not as far as I know.
Okay.
But it's quite beautifully shot at times. Because you have the scene where somebody drops somebody off in the middle of nowhere in those very green hills just out of the city, and it does have some very beautifully shot moments, very vibrant colors at times.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
This sounds like this would be one of those films that I would randomly watch at a film festival, and one of those films that I wouldn't watch otherwise, but. Those films are generally pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, I was also quite surprised to actually even find this film because once again, I had kind of a tough time trying to find something for this week to talk about, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I now looked it up on Letterboxd, and I have heard of it now. I mean, I would lie to you if I could tell you anything about it, but someone that I follow on Letterboxd has logged it. That's how I have heard of this before.
And did they give it a great review?
Actually, 5 out of 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you want me to read his review?
Please do. Please do.
Here we go. And this is a new element of the show. I thought this tale of two sons, one a stone in his father's shoe, the other the apple of his eye, was absolutely brilliant. Moving, surprising, and visually a knockout. Don't let the running time put you off, because A Son is a gem. And it's on Netflix. Why are we opening? I was going to say, we just do that all the time now. We couldn't put this any better. I have no
opinion of this film. Let's just read some reviews.
Let's pick a random film and just read some reviews. See if we actually want to watch it after we read them.
But I do agree. I don't agree that it's a 5 out of 5, but it's a good film, and like you said, it is visually quite good, nice to look at. Yeah,
Yeah. It's
What do you
directed by
remind-
Chung Mong Hung.
yeah, sure.
What a name.
Whoever.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of another film so much, and I completely forgot what film it was.
Burning.
Also, yes.
And you don't remember which one it was? I want to know this now.
Yeah, me too. Believe me.
It reminded you because of its themes and story, or just because of the
Just
tone?
from how it looked.
Just how visually? Okay. Also an Asian film, like
I think so, but
yeah.
I completely forgot. But yeah, also of Burning at times.
yeah,
Because they also have a kind of a running scene,
right.
which
We love those.
fit quite
running
well
scenes.
to it. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
best scenes of all. But yeah, but Burning, what a film as well. But
Yeah, this is. I'm reading. I'm seeing this now as the review just said. This is also a long film, because
Yeah,
Burning was like
2
3
hours
hours
30,
long.
like something. Yeah,
Yeah,
Burning as well.
yeah. Burning is like 3 hours.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
didn't feel that long.
I remember I watched Burning at the film festival, and we watched 2 movies back to back. I mean, Burning started playing at 11:30 p.m. So this was like genuinely like we were all shattered by the end of it.
Dude, I just remembered the film that a son reminds me of, and it's not an Asian film at all. It's Waves.
Yeah. Fair enough.
With the whole dynamic also with the father being extremely disappointed and leaving people behind.
Yeah. Waves was the last film that we saw together at the
The cinema,
movie theater, yeah. And the last film that I saw in the theaters, period. Because I know you watched The Shining, for example.
But it was also quite some time ago. I think it was like episode 5 that we talked about.
Yes. I mean, it must have been, March? Mid-March?
Yeah.
So, just before lockdown, obviously. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see something new, especially with Tenant apparently coming out in end of August, 27th, 28th, something like that.
26th, yeah. Dude.
26th.
Yeah, I got a vacation plan on the 27th, and yesterday we had I told everyone I'll be joining you the day after. I got somewhere else to be. Hopefully, it's gonna actually like be released. I don't know. Because it's gonna be released like over here before they release it in the States.
Yeah, right. And apparently in the States, it's gonna be quite a limited release.
Yeah.
So, well,
hopefully,
too bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see people complaining about it on Twitter and stuff, and I was like, yeah, now you know how we feel with pretty much 80% of every film ever released in every American-made film, because they usually are released like months in advance over there, and we have to wait such a long time.
Especially Pixar films. Some of those films are released like half a year later, which is quite infuriating.
But also like these indie films, like Booksmart, for example, or Get Out. No, Get Out. Maybe I don't know. But I think Get Out was also a film that we had to wait a long time to see.
Yeah, even a lot of those films don't even come out in Austria except for film festivals.
Yeah.
Like the new Paul Dano film, Wildlife, I think didn't even get a release here.
Well, it was shown in some small cinemas a couple of months after it was at the film festival.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess I missed that.
Yeah. I think I saw or had an email or something where the Film Casino, for example, they said they show it on these couple of dates.
Yeah, the thing is about Film Casino, it's just cool because they actually do show those films, but they have like free screenings.
Yeah.
Ever, I guess. And it's like over a month. So like they're going to show this here, and then 2 weeks later once again, and then 2 weeks later again. And then that's it.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, because I wasn't a big fan of Waves. Do you think that this movie would be more for me, a son? Or is it similar in its like story as well?
That theme kind of reminded me a lot of it, but in as a whole, it's quite different. Especially, it's got more of a crime element, and like especially you see him actually being in juvenile detention center and how he has to deal with it because he's not ready for it. And the son who is arrested, who is kind of one of the main characters, wasn't really at fault. He was just there, and he feels terrible about it. He didn't even want any of this to happen.
Right.
So him being thrown into jail and having to deal with that, and then also later being kind of confronted by his past, because this is quite a long film, so it kind of shows you what happens shortly before, then during his incarceration, then also later, and then I think even a couple of years later you kind of see what happens.
Okay.
And yeah, it's quite different. It's quite different. I think you would kind of like it because it does. It's kind of gonna sound weird, maybe, because it feels more like an Asian film, more like a Korean production or something like that,
As opposed to what?
an American production.
Oh, I thought you compared it to a different movie. Okay.
No, just because I don't know, they have a very different kind of dynamic, especially with like family films.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just take, I don't know, Parasite, for example, which is like a deep example, I guess, but those family films, it kind of feels darker. I don't know why. I mean, Parasite may be an extreme example because
Yeah.
it's about quite a fucked up family.
Yeah.
Or it also kind of reminds me of, I don't know why, I think also a Korean film that you recommended me, also a Netflix film about this guy and his brother.
Oh, what was that
who live in
called?
they live in this weird house.
I don't know if we're thinking about the same one now.
I think so, isn't it? I mean,
Oh,
weird
what was it?
house. He also always think there's something going on. He follows his brother because he thinks that he's like
Yeah,
an impersonator.
Oh, dude, what was that called? I like that movie a lot.
I wasn't a huge fan, but
But it reminded you of that? A son?
I think just from the feeling of like Asian films, it's just feels way darker. I don't know why.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll look this up. I know how to look this up. Forgotten.
Forgotten, maybe. Is
Forgotten.
that
Yeah,
all right.
I think so.
Sure, sounds right.
Yeah. I like the movie a lot, but that's one of those examples for an Asian crime film that has like 20,000 twists, where it's like
and I kind of hate that.
I completely understand that.
Because if you do that many twists, the twists kind of become predictable.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it's just a bit ridiculous at times.
Yeah.
Because one of those twists would have sufficed. You know what I mean? Give me one of those at the end as like the big twist, and not like 20, 25 of them.
Thinking about it, I know very little Korean films without a twist.
Yeah, true. But
If
I
any.
would. But we do know. I don't think you know a lot of Korean films.
Quite a few.
Yeah, yes. But compared
Not a
to
lot.
like your knowledge of American or German films or whatever.
No, of course not. Of course not. I guess I've seen some of the bigger ones, and
Yeah.
compared to somebody who's really into like Korean films,
Mhm.
I know nothing. I guess, but
Yeah.
like from the 5 to 10 films that I've seen,
Yeah.
not that few. So
Well. But yeah. All right.
all right, what's your pick?
Yeah, dude.
What's the thing that you've been excited to watch?
Okay. I'm going to talk about a show called Normal People. Have you heard of this?
I don't think so.
This is a BBC 3 production, and
All right.
it's been released in the States on Hulu, which is like one of those streaming services that produces some great content. And obviously it's not available where we live. And I've just been hearing about Normal People. It's directed by Lenny Abramson, who did Room. Not The Room, but Room.
The good one.
The good one. It's directed by him and also Haji McDonald, who I didn't know before. They both like directed 6 episodes each of this 12-episode series. And it's now finally available here on Amazon. It's like
On Prime or
no,
to,
it's like
to
this
rent?
weird renting Star. What was it called? Stars thing. I don't know if you.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird like addition to Amazon. Stars
Oh, the
Play.
subscription kind of thing.
Yeah,
All right.
but you get like a 14-day testing phase for free.
I just looked up Normal People. The ratings are quite high.
Yeah, dude. This is. We've known each other for a while, yeah, and I don't want to hype. I don't want to hype
I'd
things up.
say so, yeah.
But I don't want to hype things up. But this might be the best thing that I could ever recommend to you. And
What?
I
What's the explanation for
loved this show. I absolutely loved this show. Well, the one thing, and it sounds very, very stupid to say it, but I know how much you love. You're gonna laugh, but just the
Romance.
Irish accent.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Right.
I actually do.
Yeah. So this is based on a book by Sally Rooney. Sally Rooney. I don't want to mispronounce her name.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No.
Don't know who
She's
that is.
listening. No, and it's about about a couple, a romance, about just two people who fall in love in high school, and it sort of tells their story throughout college and onwards. Yeah, so it spans like, I don't know how many years. Let's say, whatever I'm going to say is going to be wrong, but let's say 5 years.
Sure, yeah.
4 or 5 years, maybe even more. I don't know. They look the same, obviously, but as I said, it spans high school through college, and the show is called Normal People. Yeah, and it is just that. This is one of the most relatable shows that I have ever seen, and it's like whenever you watch a romantic comedy or a romantic movie, people are talking to each other, things that are happening that are just, they work as a movie, but they would never work or would never happen in real life. And Normal People, I believe almost absolutely everything that happened in the show. And the reason why I think it's also one of the best things that I've seen in this genre is because both these actors, she's called Daisy Edgar Jones. She's incredible. And Paul Mescott, this is his first big thing he's been a part of. He's honestly, and I'm not saying this lightly, he's one of the best. His performance in this show is one of the best performances I've ever seen. And I'm not. This is not hyperbole. I'm genuine about this, because he's obviously, they both go through a lot, and it's about the struggles of the relationship. Because in the beginning, she plays this. They know each other through school, but also her mother works for. His mother works for her mother. She's like she cleans the house for them.
All right.
And he picks up the mother at her house a few times, and that's where they sort of interact with each other. The two, I was going to say kids, but they're the
teenagers.
The teenagers, yeah. That's where they sort of know each other from. And she's very much she's a very shy person, just not very well liked in school, and he's like the sports guy. Everyone loves him, and blah blah blah. And then they start their relationship, but he's like, I don't want anyone to know about this. I want to keep this a secret because
what a gentleman.
Yeah, no, he's a prick. Absolutely. But dude, that's a big part of the show as well, where he apologizes for the things that he does in the beginning and stuff. But that's like also just one of those simple things that it's just played or acted so brilliantly, because then obviously they started their relationship, and then the next day in school they pass each other, but he pretends like they don't know each other, basically, because everyone of his friends is making fun of her. And then you see gradually throughout the show how he realizes that he has to stand up for her, and just now that I'm saying it, it sounds like a very cliche thing, because right, that happens in a lot of things, but the way it is done in this is just so much better. And then obviously they go. I mean, I've written some things down here. Give
it to me.
For example, then it's 12 episodes, and they're like 25 minutes an episode. So this, I think it's like 6 hours. You would watch this in one sitting, I'm sure.
Don't judge me.
I'm not judging. I'm saying.
No.
But for example, one episode is there, which now I'm jealous about it too, because they have like one episode is like them vacationing in Italy, because her family is quite rich, and they have a beautiful home in Italy, and it's got that as well. Obviously, it's the main story is set in Ireland, in a very, very small town. I don't remember. In Sligo, the county Sligo. I don't know if you know this place. You've been to Ireland. I don't know.
Not to Sligo.
I don't know. But yeah, there's one episode out there in Italy. Then there's one episode in Sweden, when they actually filmed those episodes in Sweden and in Italy, because she's going off on Erasmus. I don't know if that's how you say it in English. I think it is, because they mention it in the show.
You sure it's maybe even named after a person? I think that's why. So
yeah.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So the two settings that I both love, because I'm a big fan of Sweden and like the Scandinavian countries and Italy. So the settings of that are beautiful, and I was very jealous of both of those places because I wanted of them being there, because I wanted to be there too. But yeah, dude, I'm struggling to tell you how great this is.
I mean, how long did it take you to finish the show? I mean, it's 12 episodes, and I know how fast you are finishing shows, so
how slow I am. Like a week.
Oh wow, that's pretty fast for you.
Yeah, because I have this as well with shows. I watch it and then it's over, like an episode is over and I'm like, that was a great episode. But I very, very rarely have the urge of watching another one immediately. I don't know why. It's just like, all right, I've finished this story arc, this episode now. I'll watch the next one tomorrow or a couple of days.
That's a very healthy way to consume media.
But then I'm like, I want to finish this for so that I could talk about it today. And then I start the next episode and I'm like, this is just fantastic too. Like immediately. I know that there's been a lot of like, I've raved about a lot of things on this show, and that's just how I am. I'm if I like something, I tend to like oversell it maybe, or just be like,
that's why people, or at least I, want to watch those things.
Yeah, but yeah, I know, but then it's sort of difficult to, if you watch something that is really special, for me to make that come across, if that makes sense.
All right, yeah.
It's just amazing, dude. There's some clips on it on YouTube as well, obviously, because it was released first on BBC, and the BBC channel, they have released some clips. And I really just want to talk about him as well, as this is one of his first things, maybe his first big role that he had. He's now like the most searched actor, because this obviously on Hulu and on BBC, a lot of people have seen this by now, and have all loved it. And this guy is going to have one hell of a career, and I think it's so deserved, because there's like a scene where he's at the psychiatrist, and he talks about like there's something very sad happened to him, and dude, it is honestly just amazing how he plays that, because it just feels real. It really does feel real. And I watched that scene back on YouTube, that clip, and like you can read the comments obviously, and there were people like saying like, if that's an actor, if that's not a documentary, give him all the awards, like, because they didn't know that that this was a show. They just watched it, and it's just, dude, it's honestly, she's amazing too, and their relationship is incredible, and there's so many little things that are happening that I'm like, yes, oh my god, this is so fucking real. This is not bullshit. This would happen. I know how this guy feels right now. I know the struggles that he's going through. And yeah, amazing. I don't know what else to say. It's just
pretty
incredible.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now I know what I'm gonna watch tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have you gonna do that testing thing? That what is it called in English? It's not a testing phase. That trial period.
Trial, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna see. I mean, because the Amazon Prime account that I'm using is not actually mine.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to ask.
No, but I think the first 14 days are for free.
And how much is it after that?
It's $4 a month.
Oh, that's not cheap.
Well, $4.86 apparently. But yeah, you could cancel it after the 14 days. And I'm hoping that obviously it's going to be released on maybe even on TV here sometime. Maybe it already has. I don't know anything about TV these days, but yeah, obviously on Blu-ray soon, or DVD. And I encourage absolutely every single person ever to watch this.
ever.
It's got a lot of great steamy sex in it too.
All right.
Yeah,
now
I was
you
gonna-
sold me, dude. I actually have to go to work in like an hour, but I think I can squeeze in an episode.
Um, but no, I didn't want to sell you the show because of that. I just,
Now you've sealed
mentioned
the
it at
deal.
the end. Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, but even those are very realistic, and that's what I mean. Yeah.
I mean, I also just looked at the show and seen that he's been nominated for an Emmy, and if this really is like his first bigger performance, then good for him.
Yeah, I didn't know, because the Emmy nominations they were like 1 or 2 days ago, I think.
Yeah,
Was the show nominated? Do you know?
4 Emmys.
Okay.
One for Lenny Abramson, one for
Lovely.
Paul Mescal,
Yes.
one for Louis Chieli. Is that
Okay.
her name?
I don't know who that is.
Outstanding casting.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
it-
Yeah, the casting
and-
director. Yeah. Yeah.
One for best writing for an episode for episode 3.
Episode 3. Interesting. See, I think episode 9 and 10 are the sweet spots, Gabe. Because I think, hold on, let me just look this up. Yeah, the 9th one is the one in Sweden. And obviously I don't relate to her character as much as I do to his character.
The Jock, of course.
The jock, yeah, that's me. No, but he's really much more than that. And he sort of breaks out of that mold in in the first couple of episodes. But, yeah, so the 9th episode is, according to IMDb, it's the worst episode just from its ratings. But,
What do you mean worst?
No, just it's
it-
got a 7.7, and all the other ones are
That's all right.
rated higher.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just thought it was a great episode
To do what?
no, not to do anything. It's just it felt also like very realistic. And then I'm not talking about it. It's not like one of the sexy episodes or anything. Not at all.
A sexy episode.
All the episodes are great.
All right. But I think it's funny because you said that you had to look up a couple of scenes and rewatch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think that just shows if a film is just great and it stays with you. And I've a couple of weeks ago, like a bit of a week ago, I rewatched Seven Samurai,
Right.
which is such a good film. I mean, my God. But through that, I've seen a couple of Kurosawa films, and I started rewatching this one scene from Sanjuro. I don't know if you've seen this one.
No.
It's one of his great samurai films, also with Toshiro Mifune.
Yeah.
And there's this iconic duel scene, so they both draw their swords as fast as they can try to kill each other.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever seen like an over-the-top Japanese or anime or any other kind of Japanese kind of action film, I guess. There are a lot of those iconic scenes where people get sliced up and just 10 liters of blood just spurred out.
Yeah.
And I was inspired by this film because they used way too much fake blood for this one scene.
Right.
And I know how many times I've rewatched it because it's just such a brilliant... Because if you don't notice that they just use way too much blood, and one of the actors who gets killed is just so surprised in the scene, that you think he's surprised because he lost, but he's just so surprised because there's so much fake blood spurting out. It looks so ridiculous, but so great.
That's in a Kurosawa film. That sounds very
It is.
slapstick for a Kurosawa film.
Yeah, I mean, it does not look necessarily ridiculous, I guess, but it is just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But the scene is extremely fast, and they only did one take. Because apparently Kurosawa said, if the more they do it, the faker it's going to look.
Right.
And the scene is so extremely fast how they draw their swords, and I just watched the clip in like a quarter of the speed.
Right.
And it's still extremely fast, and it's just really cool how they do it, and just sorry, my voice is giving away.
All good.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just a huge fan of Toshiro Mifune as well, but just to
That's
see
all
how
he
he did
did,
it,
yeah.
to kind of invent his own technique.
Yeah.
Just watch the scene. If you don't care about the film, just watch the scene. And
I don't know how
it's
we got
the
to,
ending.
That scene from normal people, but yeah.
We watched clips of
I
it.
know.
But yeah, sorry.
No, it wasn't. All good, all good.
Yeah.
I'm done anyway. I don't know what else
All right.
to say about this. It's just one of the most genuinely real shows and great shows that I've seen. Like, for example, Watchmen. I know I've talked about this with you. I haven't talked about this on the show. That's a show that came out somewhat recently that blew me away. And there was one other thing. I think that we talked about that on the show. What was the show? What was the show that I raved on the podcast? Raved about? You know this, Gabe. You know everything.
Sharp Objects on our Amy Adams episode.
Fair enough. But I was talking about like a more recent thing. Maybe not. Maybe I'm... Oh, Defending Jacob. I think that's what it was. But that sort of... the ending of that sort of ruined it for me. But yeah, Watchmen blew me away, and Normal People is right up there with one of the best shows that I've seen in the last couple of years. It's honestly quite brilliant. And a friend of mine has read the book, and she loved the book as well. So if you're more into reading, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. No, but the book is supposed to be very, very good as well.
But has she seen the show as well?
No, she has not.
All right.
She has not.
Maybe she can give us an opinion on how the book holds up, or I guess the show holds up.
Maybe. I don't think she's that interested in watching the show, but yeah, maybe.
Right. I mean, and I'm blanking. Damn it, what did I want to say? Christ. No, right, because of Watchmen. Yeah, because the Emmys have come out like last 1 or 2 days. I mean, when this episode comes out, it's going to be 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
But Watchmen, I think, took away the most nominations.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, because that's why it's also in the back of my mind, and I read about this as well. And yeah, I think Watchmen, and obviously, as you said, Normal People also nominated for 4 Emmys. I never really care about the Emmys, to be honest. I think they're going to hold it, obviously, online this year, the whole ceremony.
I think they have to, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but yeah, the Emmys are nothing that I'm following too closely.
I mean, but Watchmen is an HBO show, right?
Yes.
All right, that sucks.
Well, I told you that. It was released for free on HBO. Maybe it still is available for free.
And what do you mean free on HBO?
Literally what I mean. They released it for free.
On the HBO website?
Yes,
or?
Yes. I don't know if that's still the case. But
right.
the Blu-ray is available, and I'm just waiting I'm waiting for the price to go down a little bit, but I'm definitely buying that.
All right. Speaking of Blu-rays.
Speaking of it, yes.
You have to write me a little list of Nicolas Cage films when we eventually do the special on him.
Oh, dude, now you're just teasing things that might not happen.
If it's
we've
gonna
never
happen.
done that before. No one knows what the next special is going to be.
It's not like the next planned special, but maybe sometime in the future.
It's going to be the greatest episode we've ever done.
Because I know you're very excited to talk about it.
The greatest
if that
actor.
day comes, you have to write me a list, because I can't watch 50 of his films. Just can't. I won't.
Well, the reason why you bring it up, obviously, a friend of ours, or a friend of the show. Let's call her out, Fiona. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
She asked us if we could do a special on Nick Cage one day. I was like, of course. Thank you. It's my calling in life to do a special on Nicolas Cage, the greatest actor to ever live. But yeah, Gabe, no? Hyperbole, there it is again. Yeah, but sure, I'll give you a list of his things, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have that many Blu-rays, but I'll give you a list. I'll make sure to...
It's going to be way too long.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But yeah, I mean,
the date. It's Nicolas Cage is going to be the special.
It's going to be the greatest day in this podcast history.
It's going to be you talking for like an hour and me nodding and saying,
nodding into the mic. Yeah. Anyway, please, for the last time, if you listen to this show, if you listen to a couple of episodes, if there's one recommendation, if there's one thing I would encourage everyone to watch, it is Normal People. I'm sure a lot of people have already heard of this. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. If you haven't, please give it a go. It is quite extraordinary. And that's the last thing I want to say about it.
Okay.
And also, check out A Son. I mean, I'm somewhat intrigued by it. I like the crime element. You said it's got more of a crime element than obviously Waves, which you compared it to.
Yeah, especially later in the film.
Yeah.
You gotta see him and his life catching up with him, and trying to adjust to normal life, and it being quite hard, I guess.
Yeah,
Because especially when you have like a criminal record,
for sure.
it's quite hard.
I mean, the runtime sort of scares me off a little bit. But if I'm ever in the mood for a depressing long film, as you put it,
It makes a bit of a time jump. Like halfway through the movie, you can make a little break there if you want.
right? It spans about 4 or 5 years. Would you say? would you care to take a guess?
Actually, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think 3 years.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
it's even like 2 years on normal people. I'm now regretting everything I say. It spans some years.
perfect.
Yeah.
And check out Giri, Haji.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's duty and shame in Japanese, or maybe
Okay.
the other way around. But yeah, I mean, it seems small in comparison to normal people because it's apparently the best show of all time.
See, that's the thing I was scared of as well. Now it's just going to be, yeah, I set the bar too high, didn't I?
Maybe I'll get to watch it for maybe not by next episode, but sometime
Yeah.
next couple of weeks, and then maybe I'll agree.
You'll shit all over it.
No, never. If they speak in an Irish accent, I'm already on board.
Yeah, and I figured out only after I finished watching the show, because I watched some interviews. He, I think he is a native Irish person, but she isn't.
And
Is that the wrong thing to say? He's from Ireland.
he's from Ireland, yeah.
Is that not?
He's Irish.
Are we not native Austrians? No, I don't
People.
know. What? Is that wrong?
Didn't you just say a native Irish person?
Did I? Yeah, is that wrong?
And now are we native Austrian people?
I don't know. Are we?
Aren't we just Austrians?
All right, let's cut that part.
No,
Yeah, let's cut it. Let's cut it. Let's cut it. Definitely cut it. Well, I figured out after watching the show that she isn't actually from Ireland, and she puts on a great accent. I mean, I
She
believe that she
American?
was. No, she's Austrian, native Austrian. No, she's British, I think, but
Okay.
he is from Ireland. Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I think British people have that ability to speak all those Scottish accents, and to they do that.
I
quite
mean,
well.
I think it kind of depends on where you're from England or the UK, because the accents do differ quite a bit, and I don't think it's that easy for a person from like southern England to impersonate a Scottish person.
Yeah, I've been surprised as to how many people can do it quite easily, from what I've seen and heard in interviews. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it always feels like that people who have like this stronger accents have an easier time adjusting to like mild-mannered accents than the other way around.
Yeah.
Because like in Austria, I am terrible at impersonating like an accent from like, I don't know, another county. County?
Yeah.
Is it a county?
State? Well, yeah.
Is it a state?
County is right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go with county.
But I know a lot of people who are from not Vienna, and I would have believed they're from here, but as soon as you hear them talk with their family, you don't recognize the person.
Yeah. Now, I remember I was surprised when Gillian Anderson from Sex Education, the mother, that's not her natural accent in the show, because I think she's actually either American or Australian or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And she puts on a great British accent, and I was just as surprised with Daisy Edgar Jones in Normal People, because she isn't from Ireland, and I believed it 100%, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what a show. I hope I got it across as to how
Dude,
good the show is.
if it's half as good as you described, I'm going to have a great time.
Yeah.
Do you
Try.
think there's-
Yeah.
Do you think that you kind of see the difference between the two directors? Because you said they each kind of directed 6 episodes. Do they feel different?
I'm always surprised as to like in shows when they change directors and it's quite seamless. Seamless. Yeah. No, it's interesting because usually, or in some shows they like switch every other episode, but in this one it's really like the first 6 episodes are Lenny Abrams and the last 6 are Hetty McDonald, and for a few seconds I was like, okay, I'm hoping that these 6 are going to look and feel just as good, and they're just as good. So no,
Cool.
yeah.
I just noticed. I think the timestamps are gonna be all over the place in this episode.
Yeah.
Like normal people.
Dude,
then
this
something
show
else, normal people again.
is generally all over the place, and that's hopefully what makes it somewhat interesting and fun.
We'll be back on track by next episode.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. Anything else, or are we wrapping up?
I think we're wrapping up.
We're wrapping up. All right. I've talked too long. I'll leave you to it.
Me to it.
Yes. Give us
All right,
the
thank you so
rundown
much.
of everything. Yeah.
So yeah, first of all, thank you for listening. It's been a great show as always, or at least we had a great time.
Very humble. Very humble.
I know. Dude, you gotta be self-confident.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you listen to us on Spotify or anywhere else, please check us out on our other platforms like YouTube. We're there on under Best Thing We've Seen. And check us out on Twitter and on Instagram under Best Thing Radio. And yeah, leave us a comment. Maybe what do you think of our recommendations, or maybe you have some recommendations, something that you have seen recently. And yeah, we appreciate you listening. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And
did I leave anything out?
No, I don't think you did. No. Yeah. Anyway, see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.